Saladin is considered one of the most influential figures of the Middle Ages and had a central role in relations, especially between the Muslim world and the Christian West. Born in 1137, Saladin belonged to a family of Kurdish origin and rose to prominence as a military and political leader at a young age. His period covers a time when the Crusades were at their peak. Saladin gained fame as both a warrior and a statesman. He went down in history as an important leader in uniting the Muslim world and opposing the Crusader states. His most important achievement was defeating the Crusader armies in the Battle of Hattin in 1187 and returning Jerusalem to Muslim control after 88 years. Saladin is known not only for his military successes, but also for his justice, tolerance, and chivalrous behavior. He is known as a leader who respects even his enemies and treats captives well. These characteristics have made him a respected figure, not only in the Islamic world but also in the West. With both his achievements on the battlefield and his humanitarian and ethical approaches, this great figure of history created a bridge between different cultures and religions, and left a legacy that continues until today. The Battle of Montgisard took place on the 25th of November 1177, and was fought between the Crusader kingdom and the Muslim forces led by Saladin. This war took place at a time when Saladin was advancing from Egypt towards the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Its aim is to break the power of the Crusaders and expand Muslim lands. The battle is of critical importance for the future of the Crusader states, as Saladin was perceived as an increasing threat at the time. Saladin's army is taken by surprise by the outnumbered but well-equipped Crusader army. The leader of the Crusader army was King of Jerusalem IV. Although Baudouin is young and inexperienced, he displays impressive leadership. The war begins with an unexpected attack by the Crusaders, and Saladin's army suffers a heavy defeat. This is recorded as one of the greatest military defeats in Saladin's career. Saladin is forced to retreat after this defeat. This situation temporarily disrupts his plans to gain superiority over the Crusaders. However, this defeat was a strategic lesson for Saladin. It was from this experience that he improved his military tactics and made more careful plans in the following years. The Battle of Montgisard is considered a turning point in Saladin's career. This defeat paved the way for his subsequent victories against the Crusaders, and especially laid the seeds for his victory in the Battle of Hattin. After the Battle of Montgisard, Saladin focuses on consolidating his power and sphere of influence by learning from his defeat. During this period, he took important steps on both the military and diplomatic fronts. He intensifies his efforts to ensure Muslim unity in the Near East. He not only strengthens his position in Egypt, but also takes control of most of Syria. This expansion makes it the Crusader state's greatest rival. Saladin maintains complex relations with the Crusader states. In some cases there is war, other times there is diplomatic compromise. During this period, he made various ceasefire agreements with the Crusader leaders. This gives it the opportunity to strengthen its military and political position in other regions. Additionally, his negotiations and diplomatic relations with Crusader leaders strengthen his image as a pragmatic and flexible leader. Saladin consolidates his power by carrying out military restructuring and administrative reforms. He modernizes his army and creates a more effective command structure. It also expands the intelligence network and better tracks enemy movements. It makes various regulations in the administrative field to ensure justice and increase efficiency in management. This increases his popularity among Muslim peoples and strengthens support for his rule. The Battle of Hattin took place on July 4, 1187, and is recorded as one of Saladin's greatest victories. This battle enables Muslims to gain a decisive advantage against the military power of the Crusader states. With this victory, Saladin gained the necessary strategic advantage to take Jerusalem from the Crusaders. Saladin uses expertly prepared tactics in this war. He lures the Crusader army into a trap near Hattin and prevents them from accessing water resources, while he and thirst weaken the Crusader army. Saladin's army attacks in a coordinated and determined manner. Saladin's leadership plays a critical role in the outcome of the battle. He leads his army effectively and keeps morale high. As a result of the Battle of Hattin, a large portion of the Crusader army is destroyed or captured, severely weakening the Crusaders' military presence in the region. This victory creates an ideal opportunity to capture Jerusalem from the Crusaders. Saladin conquered Jerusalem in October 1187. Just a few months after the Victory of Hattin, the Battle of Hattin and the subsequent conquest of Jerusalem changed the course of the history of the Crusades and led to the beginning of the Third Crusade. Siege of Jerusalem and its strategic importance. After the Battle of Hattin, Saladin headed towards Jerusalem. In September 1187, he besieged Jerusalem and took action to take back the city. Jerusalem had great religious and cultural importance for both Muslims and Christians. Therefore, the conquest of the city is considered not only a military victory, but also a great symbolic victory. Saladin's conquest of Jerusalem is particularly notable for its peaceful nature. It is important that the conquest took place with much less bloodshed than the Crusaders' first conquest of Jerusalem in 1099. Saladin shows tolerance towards the Christian inhabitants of the city and allows them to leave the city safely. This behavior is considered a rare example of compassion and tolerance among leaders of that period. The conquest of Jerusalem creates great enthusiasm and morale gains in the Muslim world. SaladinAyyubi is celebrated as the hero of the Islamic world. On the other hand, it causes great shock and sadness in the Christian world. This event becomes an important trigger for the start of the Third Crusade in Europe. The conquest of Jerusalem is considered a turning point in the history of the Middle Ages and had long-term effects on both the Muslim and Christian worlds. The main reason for the Third Crusade was the conquest of Jerusalem by Muslims in 1187. This event creates a great reaction in Europe and causes a new crusade to be organized. Notable leaders of the expedition include King Richard the Lionheart of England, King Felipe II Augustus of France, and Holy Roman Emperor Friedrich Barbarossa. Saladin implements a careful and strategic defense plan to stop the advance of the Crusaders. He slows down the advance of the Crusaders by fortifying cities and castles, and at the same time wears them down with various tactics. Saladin's defensive strategies slow down the Crusaders and help them inflict serious losses. The Battle of Arsuf, fought on the 7th of September 1191, was a significant victory for the Crusaders and showcased the military abilities of Richard the Lionheart. The siege of Jaffa results in Saladin repelling the Crusaders from the city in 1192. This is an important indicator of Saladin's defensive ability. The Third Crusade ends with the Treaty of Jaffa in 1192. This treaty stipulates that Jerusalem will remain under Muslim control, but free entry will be granted to Christian visitors. The treaty represents a compromise acceptable to both Muslims and Christians and provides a temporary peace in the region. Saladin is considered one of the most important figures of the medieval Islamic world. He is a leader appreciated by Christian and Muslim sources for his courage, justice and leadership qualities. Varsail and Medin. Saladin is known for both his diplomatic acumen and military successes. His conquest of Jerusalem and his resistance in the Third Crusade emphasize his strategic and tactical mastery. The tolerance and justice he showed During the conquest of Jerusalem, or one of the most important parts of Saladin's legacy, the mercy he showed towards Christians during his conquest is a rare event in history and shows the importance he gave to human values. Saladin left a deep mark on both Eastern and Western cultures. It has frequently appeared in historical novels, films, and other popular media, and has been mentioned in different aspects by both Muslim and Christian communities. Today, Saladin is seen by many cultures and societies as a symbol of tolerance and understanding between different religions and cultures. His legacy continues to be a source of inspiration for political and religious leadership, especially in the Middle East. The life and achievements of Saladin constitute one of the most fascinating stories in the history of the Middle Ages, as we see in this video. From his defeat at the Battle of Montgisard to his victory at the Battle of Hattin and the conquest of Jerusalem, his military and diplomatic skills changed the political and military balance of the period. The leadership and resilience he showed during the Third Crusade are evidence of his strategic intelligence and determination. Saladin has a special place in history not only as a war leader, but also for his commitment to the values of justice, tolerance, and humanity. The mercy he showed while conquering Jerusalem was a rare event for the time and shows that he not only won a victory but also cared about peace and tolerance. Today, Saladin's legacy lives on as a symbol of understanding and dialogue between different religions and cultures around the world. His story is a reminder of the importance of human values and mutual respect. Beyond war and conflict, the mark Saladin left in history shows that he was not just a historical figure, but also a character who continues to be an inspiration even today.